What is up, boils and ghouls? It is Jeff.
And I'm Bethany.
And this is the Horror Fiend. I know I'm normally saying like and on the phone, but by now you guys should know that she's on the phone because of the situation at hand. So I'm not saying that no more. No more. It's obvious. With that said, I wanted to get a little fun out because we have a really serious situation to discuss again. Recently, the horror community suffered another loss, and and forgive me if I am not pronouncing the name properly, but Dieter, I believe it's Laser. It's either Laser or Lazar. He passed away, and so obviously we here at Horror Fiend, just like we've done a few times now, it seems, we would like to give a moment of silence for Dieter and just say thank you for everything that you did. Human Centipede is fucking awesome and disturbing and disgusting, and I love it. So yeah, just if you guys would please give a moment of silence to Dieter. Okay. So now that we got the really bad out of the way, now we can get into the show. Hi everybody, how you doing? Jeff here. Beth over there on the phone down here.
Around here somewhere.
Somewhere in the great state of great state. I just called it a great state. Oh god, I almost threw up. Yeah, we're here. You know, we're alive. We're still kicking. COVID-19 has not beat us yet.
But allergies are kicking my ass.
Same here. Same. Allergies have not been nice to me lately, and it shows. I have been getting, like, you see my eyes, man. My eyes are like all red and squinted out. It's not because of the weed. It's because of allergies. Allergies have been kicking my ass. And I'm still out there, you know, doing my thing. So it sucks, but we're still kicking. We're still here. Real quick, guys, I wanted to give an apology. Last week, I was uploading the video, and we tried getting them done on Saturdays that were they're uploaded Saturday nights, and we had a power outage. Where I live, there's a power outage, and so the net kicked off, and the phone was connected to the Wi-Fi. Excuse me. And so instead of loading on Saturday night like it's supposed to do, because we try to keep it every Saturday, it actually loaded onto Sunday. It was after midnight when it finally loaded on. So I'm not even gonna say that's my bad. It's just not my bad. That's fucking Comcast bad, or whoever it is that P&M. It's their fucking bad. Okay, not my bad. But the video did get uploaded. You guys have been seeing it. So I just wanted to apologize because one of my buddies, he likes to give me shit. He was like, "Hey man, I thought you were recording every Saturday. What happened? I saw a video Sunday." And I was like, you know what, bro? Fuck you. So, so yeah, just in case anybody is out there like, what the fuck, man? We're still doing them Saturdays. That one was just a freak accident. I do apologize on behalf of all of us. I said on the behalf because I was going to say Beth too. So,
You're all of us.
On the behalf.
Two of us.
Right? On behalf of the Horror Fiend, which is myself, Bethany, and my artist, we would like to apologize for the slight delay in video, but you guys still got it, so if you don't like it, tough titty, said the kitty. Okay, but now let's get into the shit. Beth, I'm going to let you start this off, please, so I could drink some water.
Alrighty. So Shudder started a new series, and I think it was like last week had the first episode, and then they added an additional 2 this week. But it's called Cursed Films, and it goes over all the lore that came behind certain films and how, you know, the rumors spread that they may be cursed and why, and they go through each category of it. The first episode was The Exorcist, and then the additional 2 they just added was number 2 was Poltergeist, and then The Omen. Nice. So I already checked those 3 out. It was fun. it was very fun. It was interesting to watch. I like stuff like that. I'm a sucker for all of that stuff, and it was interesting. So those are now available to watch on Shudder. I don't know how often they do new episodes, and I still have to wait longer because I watched through Amazon. But go check out the first 3 episodes. They're fun. The other bit of news for Shudder is they just added all of the Friday the 13th movies are like from number 1 to 8.
Yeah, 1 through 8.
So you can go check those out as well.
Hell yeah. And we all love Friday the 13th, even if Jason's not some of our favorite killer. I mean, we got to respect Friday the 13th. We all like him. And having 1 through 8 on there, they're pretty much leaving out the 2 ones that were the worst, in my opinion. Like, Jason Goes to Hell, like, I'm sorry, minus that beginning scene, that movie was just crap. I do love the end scene, too, with the Freddy claw coming out.
But everybody loves the end scene.
Yeah, the teaser that we were waiting for, and then years later, we finally got it. And then Jason X, as fun as that movie is, and as funny as it is, and I love Uber Jason personally, still, not the best work that they've done. So having 1 through 8, pretty much the first all the way through Jason Takes Manhattan's pretty dope. And we do have something planned. We are back on Friday the 13th. We were supposed to do ranking of Friday the 13th, but given everything that's been happening, obviously we couldn't do it. So that video is going to be coming soon. It might be next week. You never know. Wink, wink. But we will be doing our best to worst, our worst to best Friday the 13th. So stay tuned for that. And then as far as the other show you're talking about, the Cursed Films, I haven't watched it yet because I've been working all week, so I really haven't had the time. But I am excited to actually check it out because I've heard good about it. And the fact that it is hitting movies, I guess on Exorcist, there's actually a dude who was a known serial killer in one of the scenes. I guess he was in the hospital or something like that, but he was a legit serial killer. So that's pretty fucking crazy to think about. And then we all know about Poltergeist, man. Poltergeist has just a very disturbing history behind it. And
the same thing with The Omen, where
true.
there has all these weird things happen. So, and they go over all of it, and they bring extra people in. It's really good. I liked it. I think you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I'm wondering if they're gonna do my favorite movie because for those who don't know, as much as I love Michael Myers and I do as far as horror movies goes, he's the shit to me. But my favorite movie of all time, and will never be topped, will never be matched, is The Crow. I absolutely am in love with The Crow. I everything about it, from the graphic novel to the movie we never got to see with the Skull Cowboy, the tragedy that happened with Brandon Lee, just everything about that movie. It hits home to me on a very personal level. I'm pretty sure that if there's a Guinness World Record for the most times watching that movie, I'd probably be in it, and I'd probably never be touched because I watched that movie over at least 5,000 times. No fucking joke. I have watched the movie that many times over my life. I am 35 years old almost. I've been watching that since I was a kid. That's how much I love it. I used to put it in the VHS, watch it, rewind, watch it, rewind, watch it, rewind. No joke. And I own every version of it you could possibly think of. So, and because
I do actually think that is one of the ones that they are going to be doing.
I could see it, honestly, just because of what happened to Brandon Lee, and then there's that whole, is the Lee family cursed? Because we all saw, what happened to Bruce Lee, he just died, no complications whatsoever, perfect fucking health, but he just died. And then we saw what happened with Brandon, and then Bruce's father, so there's that family. A lot of people think that family is cursed. So I am interested. If they do that, I will definitely be watching that for sure. Keeping with, just horror shows and movies and all that. So, Hellraiser, okay? I don't know about you guys, but the last Hellraiser that came out that had Paul Taylor playing Pinhead, I absolutely fucking loved it, okay? I loved it. I loved the direction they went. I liked the whole heaven versus hell concept, but in actuality, hell seems to be the lesser of the evils. I dig that. but I guess they are planning on either doing a remake. I'm hoping it's a continuance. I'm hoping it's not a remake, but I guess they have a director for the next Hellraiser installment, which is supposed to be David David
It was David Bruckner.
Yeah, Bruckner. There we go. That's what I was thinking. I was like looking at the paper and I was like, I think it's Bruckner. So yeah, David Bruckner as the director. So this is one of those topics, and I want your opinion on it, Beth. Is Hellraiser? Okay, that last one, like I said, that last one is fucking awesome. I really liked it.
I watched the last two Hellraisers, and I get those two mixed up all the time. So I'm just gonna lump those last two in together. I didn't care for them. Out of all of the ones they had, including Dutter and everything, I mean they started getting really, really, really bad. I just didn't care for them. So I think from like a certain movie on, they just kind of stopped existing to me.
Yeah,
so I know not too popular, but I just didn't dig them. I didn't dig them at all. But this one, from my understanding, it is a re-imaging, which means they are taking the original and they're going to completely redo it. That's what I got from the information I was looking up, and I'm actually kind of interested to see how they would do it. Usually, I'm not for remakes at all. But I am interested, because it's going to happen anyway, how they do it, and I'm curious on who they're going to cast as Pinhead.
Yeah, and see, so the last one that came out, that was the one that I was describing, where it was like the whole heaven versus hell concept near the end. And that one had Paul Taylor, sorry, and he was Pinhead, and he did phenomenal. Like, when I watched that movie, I actually thought it was Doug Bradley at first. I was like, wait a minute, what? And then I realized it wasn't him. And then I had the honor of meeting him, guess where? Frightmare. And so I even told him then, I was like, dude, if you're Pinhead, I have confidence in where the movies are going to go, because I actually really enjoyed the last one. The one before that, when they're like at Mexico or some shit, that was complete garbage.
Yeah, okay.
I hated that one.
That was really bad.
Yeah, the Mexico one, that was garbage. And I hate the guy who they picked to play Pinhead. He looked horrible. He looked absolutely fucking ridiculous. But Paul Taylor, I was like, damn.
Here's my requirement. He has to have, whoever they cast, he has to have a deep, creepy voice. Or it's not even worth it. He has to have very deep, manly voice, because that's how we all picture Pinhead.
Yeah, and
that's just the way it is. If you're gonna have like a really high toned voice or anything like that, it's gonna kill the whole thing. It's not gonna work. He has to look creepy and he has to sound creepy. Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and I could agree with that. And that's where, like, in my pick, it will always be, since Doug Bradley is at that age where I don't think he can do it anymore. As much as I love him, as much as everybody loves him. We all love Doug Bradley, okay? We all do. But like my pick will easily be Paul. I think Paul should come back. I think Paul should keep on the Pinhead role. And I hope they do. I hope this director is smart enough to pick him, because I don't think anybody else out there right now could fit the role as good as he can. And this is my personal opinion. Some people might think other people can do it. Somebody was talking about, like, what's his name? The guy who played young Magneto in the X-Men movies, like Fassbender or whatever the hell his name is. Michael, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know. See, it's really difficult, because it's the same conversation we had about Robert Englund playing Freddy. You grow up knowing them as this character. And then to try to think of anyone that can even possibly kind of, sort of cover that role, it's really difficult to do. So I don't know. I really don't know who would fit it well. From what I remember from the last Hellraiser movie, I mean, I think he did do it well. I think the voice still wasn't kind of working for me. Like, I needed a deeper voice, but I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to see which way they go with it, and then kind of go from there, because, forever it's going to be Doug Bradley.
Yeah, and I will agree with that. I do agree with it. However, like I said, and I will say it again, I'm actually going to mention, I'm going to tell him on Facebook after I'm done with this. I completely back Paul. So, Paul, if you're watching this, I have that much love for you, man. I have that much love for you. I'm backing you on this, okay? And I'm hoping everybody else will, because you, in my opinion, if there is somebody to take over the Pinhead mantle, it's Paul. Paul can do it, just like I believe Kevin Bacon could take over Freddy, and like that's straight from Robert Englund's lips. So, and just like, you know, Nick Castle, as great as Nick Castle was, now we got James Jude Courtney, who's just as good. You know, he's out there doing it. Just like, you know, Kane Hodder, who's the best Jason, you know, wasn't the first Jason. So there's always that person who could take over the mantle and make it better, and I believe Paul's that guy as far as Hellraiser goes. So, yeah, there's that little bit of information involving Hellraiser. And then, speaking of, excuse me, speaking of remakes and redos and all of that stuff.
It is the rise of the remake.
Right? I believe it was Salem's Lot, right?
Yeah, it was Salem's Lot.
And
so they're also getting a remake. Go ahead, go for it.
No, I was going to have you tell him.
Okay, so it was Gary, was it Doberman?
Yeah, I believe it's Doberman. How it's spelled, it looks like Doberman.
Okay, if we're messing up your name, I'm sorry.
Doberman, Doberman, something.
But, you know, he is one of the ones that did, his movie that he directed was Annabelle Comes Home. So he directed that movie. I haven't seen it yet, but he did direct that movie. And he's written a lot of the movies in the Conjuring universe. So he's the one that's going to be directing the Salem's Lot remake. When I found that they connected a director to it, I honestly didn't even know that they were planning on remaking Salem's Lot. So that was a surprise to me.
Right, pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it was like, hey, another movie. But that's pretty much all the information I have on it so far. It's just because, like I said, that one was a surprise to me. I was like, oh, apparently they're remaking Salem's Lot as well.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for you.
So, and you know, that's still, you know, it's there. It's people, excuse me. I had a really big burger, so like it's starting to come out of me. I apologize, guys. But yeah, that's pretty cool, you know. I mean, remakes are like taking over for some reason because I'm guessing people can't think of anything original. Thank you, Blumhouse. Thank you for thinking of original stuff for Halloween and not remaking it. I fucking love you. So, and thank you, Chris Rock, too, because you're not remaking Saw. You're making Spiral. You're continuing it. Thank you. For all those horror directors out there who are fucking continuing shit and not remaking shit, thank you. Like Damien and everybody else doing Terrifier 2, thank you. All you guys kick ass. Please keep making new movies and stop doing remakes. Okay?
The remakes are getting a little hard to stomach at this point.
It's true. It's like fucking Batman.
None of us are really happy with it to begin with, but we kind of went with it anyways because we wanted to see our characters. But it's getting a little hard to stomach. Almost every movie you can think of right now, horror or not even, are having plans to be remade. So
it's true. And like speaking of remakes, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Okay, so there's a big rumor going around right now because of how much traction Killer Clowns has been getting. There's been because now it's on Netflix. Like we told you guys that I think a video or two ago, how it was coming back to Netflix, and ever since it's been on Netflix, like it's been getting a lot of watch, and that's been taking the movie companies, you know, interest. They're like, huh. And so now there's a big rumor going around that right now they want to do like either a Killer Clowns from Outer Space sequel, which I'd be okay with a sequel, or a Killer Clowns remake. And it's like, okay, well, if you're going to remake Killer Clowns from Outer Space, because that's such a fun movie. I mean, yeah, it's disturbing, but it's mainly a fun movie. And so if you're going to remake it, like, at least make it modernized, like, make it darker, make it scary, because a lot of people have fear of clowns. So make it terrifying, you know, make it to where, okay, sure, still keep a bit of the comical aspect to it, because, I mean, that's what Killer Clowns was. But make some of that shit really fucking disturbing, too, and it could sell like hotcakes, in my opinion. and that's if you remake it. If you're gonna do a sequel, I would love to see
Yeah,
their
do a
planet
sequel.
or something.
I
You
would
know?
love to see a sequel.
Yeah, like I like to see like where they came from, like their planet or some shit like that. Or I'd like to see, them come back to Earth and just make it darker, like do the opposite of what the original was, because it would sell, like it really would. Like I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I fucking love it. And I believe a darker version is the way to go. Just like okay with it. I love the original It. Okay, Tim Curry is a phenomenal Pennywise. That cast is amazing, and the movie is great. I love it. But this newer version, Part One and Part Two, I love how dark Pennywise is. I love that darkness and that road they went down to where it keeps to the books a little bit more. Like I'm not gonna do spoiler on the books, but like the turtle is in the books. It is very fucking important, and so I love the fact that they like interpreted all this other stuff that the original didn't necessarily, and so it's like just make it darker is all I ask, and that's just me personally. What do you think?
Say that last part again.
I was just saying, I think they should, if they're going to do a sequel or even a remake, I think they should go the darker route.
I agree. I would think that would be an interesting way to see it. I think if they do the comical aspect of it for a sequel, it still works as long as it fits very closely to the original. But I think a darker route would be fun to see.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, next bit of news we're going to touch up on real quick. We're trying to get through because this is all the little stuff before the big stuff. So, Beth, I know you love the man that you don't want to say that name 3 times. Go ahead and mention a certain documentary, please.
Alrighty, so they're making a Beetlejuice documentary. I already said it once, so keep an eye on that. It's called Documentary for the Recently Deceased, which is awesome. And they posted up a little trailer of it, so it gives you a little snippet of what they're going to be showing. So if y'all want to go look that up, check it out, please do. I know there's a lot of Beetlejuice fans out there. That's 2. So go check it out, see if you like it. Comment, let us know what you think.
Hell yeah, man.
See, I did it really quick.
And we all love Beetlejuice, so definitely check it out, guys. It's just a trailer for it. It's sure to be fun. Beetlejuice, technically, in my opinion, kind of not under horror necessarily, but kind of under the horror, thing. So
it works for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll consider it horror.
No, I agree. Like, given the movie, it's like a comic horror. It's like Killer Clowns from Outer Space almost. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Excuse me again. Damn. Oofa. Okay, and then, damn it. Okay, so
Are you dying over there?
coronavirus.
Remember, I can only hear you, so all I hear is the sounds. And I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm coughing. I have the water next to me. My throat's been dry. It's just because, like, I literally, for lunch, pretty much, my buddy brought me this, it's called a meat mountain from Arby's. It had, like, all the meat. And I ate, like, half of it. And so my throat's just like, fuck you, man. And I'm like, shit. But,
Was it worth it, though?
it is. I mean, and now we're getting ready to be barbecuing here in a little bit, so it's kind of funny. But, yeah, man, like, we are, excuse me, we're still working on things over here, just giving you guys a horror feed update. We are still working on stuff on our end of everything else. Beth's still hard at work with the Facebook and doing stuff on there, and her husband is still hard at work on the website and doing things. I do have that logo that I was telling you guys about, a new logo in development right now. I am working on the background for this. It's going to change up a lot. I'm really waiting for next week because I get paid next week. Plus, we're all supposed to be getting those $1,200 checks in next week. So I'm actually investing a lot of my money that I'm getting back from that into the horror feed. I'm going to, if I don't make the shelves, I'm going to go buy the shelves. I'm spending like $400 or $500 on equipment. That's not the camera. I'm getting a brand new desk that has like LED lights and stuff. It's going to be really cool. I'm getting all kinds of, I don't want to say what it is, but I'm getting stuff for the background that is all horror related. Everything you're going to see in this background is going to be horror related. Slight changes are going to be tweaked and adjusted as I go. I'm looking into pretty much a $600 camera to use, and lighting and like all kinds of stuff. Like I'm investing in this channel since it seems to be doing fairly decent 2 months in. I'm getting test shirts made just so I can see how they're gonna look and make sure I like them, and I'm gonna wear it. And so sometimes you guys are gonna see me wearing like horror fiend merchandise, then sometimes you're gonna see me wearing stuff like my Stranger Things shirt right here, or this badass hat right here with the Michael Myers Wayne's World. I got this hat from London 1888 for those who are wondering. Fucking amazing company. They have a lot of cool shit. They have I have another shirt in my closet that I'm not wearing, but it's a Freddy Krueger, the shirt where he has the needles for fingers and shit and says "Let's get high." It's that, but it says "Dare to be drug free." It's fucking amazing. I have that shirt from them, so if you guys are interested in the hat I'm wearing, or in that shirt, or any of these other things that they got stickers, patches, you name it, they have it. The name of the company is London 1888. I saw them first 2 years ago at Frightmare. It seems like they're there every year because they were there 2 years ago. They were there this past year. I'm assuming they'll be there in September. So yeah, if you guys want to check them out, definitely do it. Worth the merchandise. And as always, we don't get anything for mentioning anybody. We support them because we're all small businesses. We're all trying to do the thing, and so I completely fucking back them 100%. This shirt is from a crate. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't want anybody to really go to that, because there's been a lot of issues with that company with not delivering shit on time at all. This happened before coronavirus, so I will not mention the company that I got this shirt from, especially because this is from a few years ago. But yeah, if you want this shirt, I'd probably say just look on eBay or Amazon. It'll probably be on there. It's really badass. I love Stranger Things. And yeah, other than that, let's just talk. Let's do updates and stuff. Beth, how you doing over there?
I'm doing good. I was picturing some of the stuff I got from, it was London 1888, and I got this really, really cool Lost Boys shirt from them. And it's one of the places that makes it in girl sizes. So
right.
We have like the nice little shape on our shirt. So I love that. It was awesome. I had to take it. So.
Yeah, London 1888's dope. I believe the owner actually is a female too. Like, she's always there. She's so fucking cool. And
yeah, she is. It's fun. When you go and get to talk to all these vendors at conventions and stuff, and sometimes you'll get to see them at numerous different conventions. You kind of get to know them a little bit, and she's such a really cool chick. So, and they're always really super helpful and friendly and nice. So I always appreciate that.
I completely agree with you on that. Yeah. So, just how's everybody surviving the coronavirus and doing all that stuff? I know I'm kind of surviving. I still gotta go out there and work, but I'm alive. I'm healthy for the most part. No, excuse me. I don't mean to like pause or anything, guys. I'm just trying to my allergies are kind of kicking up, so I'm trying to you know what I mean, like clear myself. Okay, so we're doing a little. I don't want to say it's different, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the reins since it's kind of been quiet. We're doing something a little different this week. So as all of you know, I've pitched this for a while now. This channel is about two things mainly. The first thing being horror, what we all know and love. Like, this horror community is fucking kick-ass. We all love horror movies. We love slashers, the old school, everything. Like, we all love horror movies, and that's what this channel is about. And the traction I've been getting because of it is fucking amazing. I'm not gonna share anything right now, but I have a feeling that things are going to be really good soon. They already have been, but I have a feeling. It's a little birdie. But I lost my train of fucking thought. Holy shit. What was I saying?
We go over horror stuff and horror culture.
Duh.
But
So the other thing we go over, and we don't talk much about it. That is going to change as of today. It was pointed out to me by a friend, and he was absolutely right. And so I'm going to change that right now. So the horror fiend, yes, horror, obviously, but we're also about mental health. And I am a huge mental health advocate. I do everything that I can for people who have issues because I have issues. And doesn't make you less of a person, doesn't make you bad or anything. It's, you know, it's perfectly normal. And I know how it feels to think you don't have anybody out there who fucking understands you. All those just like, oh, I understand, I get it. It's like, sure, okay. And but that's another thing this is a channel about. That's why over the past few videos I've been trying to, you know, touch up on the whole COVID-19, because I know this is affecting a lot of people in a very negative way. I know that everybody is bummed out by it. You know, a lot of us, you know, we're not used to being cooped up in the house, and they're going stir crazy. Others are just freaking out because of just how horrible other human beings are acting right now. And I totally get that. You guys know, and we're going to get into details about it right now. I have depression, I have anxiety, and I have PTSD. I don't hide it. I am very open about it. And the reason why I'm open about it is because I'm hoping that people out there won't do the things that I did. Because I did some pretty fucked up shit. I tried killing myself a total of 9 times. And every time, clearly, I did not succeed. I have tried everything. I've tried hanging myself. I have slit my wrist both ways. I have tried carbon monoxide. I've tried drowning myself. I even put a gun to my head. I have laid at train tracks. Like, I literally knew when the train was going to arrive, the whole 9. And I literally laid all my stuff out there and I waited for the train to come. And just nothing ever happened. I tried overdosing just to get my stomach pumped. So I know how bad depression could take over. And I know the darkest side of depression. And I don't want anybody to get to that point. I don't want anybody to go down that road. If you have already gone down that road, I want to make sure you don't go down that road again. And that's what this channel is about. This channel is very heavily on that. I understand that this situation going on right now, this pandemic, is extremely hard for people. And I know for some people their anxiety is spiking. And I know, pardon me, that was my dog barking. I get the anxiety. I get the depression. You know, anxiety could lead to depression and vice versa. And all I can say is just keep your head up as much as possible. Do things to distract yourself. If you're going to do anything, do things to distract yourself. I personally, what I've been doing, especially on my days off, sorry about that, on my days off, I have been, I have chairs outside, and so I go sit outside. I'll take a graphic novel with me and some coffee or water or drink, and I'll just sit outside and I'll enjoy the sun, and I'll read and just enjoy the air. And you know, I do things like that. Excuse me, Dobby, shut up. And I do things like that. My dog, sorry guys, my dog's a very protective dog of me. Every time he hears any door open, he sounds off because he thinks I'm in danger. So if you hear him bark, I apologize. He is, little fun fact, since we're on the subject, my dog, Dobby, the one that you guys saw a couple videos ago, he's actually a PSA. He is a public service announcement, just plain. He is, he's pretty much an emotional support animal. He's an ESA, not a PSA. He's an emotional support animal. He's there for my anxiety. When my anxiety spikes, he actually comes to me and like will lay on me and let me pet him. When I'm depressed, he'll lick me. Like, he's very trained to know certain things, know when something's wrong, I have sleep apnea. Sometimes I'll sleep and I just stop breathing. Like I'll take a deep breath and then I'll stop breathing. And I don't know it. I've been told this. I don't know it myself because to me it's just nothing normal. But I guess when it happens, he actually jumps on me to wake me up. So this dog, you know, he might be tiny. He's 3 years old and he's been trained for this. So I don't lie about it. I'm not joking about it. Like it's the things that are wrong with me is very real. I suffer from it every day. I fight it every day. There are days where I don't want to get out of that fucking bed. And I do. Because I realize, you know, the gods have some sort of a fucking purpose for me. Odin would smack me if I was being that kind of a bitch and just laying there and like, ugh. And that's why I don't take shit for granted anymore. I get up every day, I put on my uniform, I go to work, and I try to reach out to those homeless out there who think it's the end of the world, and I try giving them what I can. I've given them money, I've given them food, I give them information, which I think is the most valuable thing you can give them. And some of them use it, some of them don't. I've saved lives, I've watched people die. So my job is extremely, extremely stressful, especially during these times. And I still manage. I still keep a happy face for the most part. And I'm trying to, as cliche as it sounds, like go out and smell the roses. You know, I'm trying to just keep as positive as possible. And that's what I suggest, guys. And even you, Beth, I suggest it to you too. I suggest this to everybody. When shit's getting to you, when it's starting to get really bad, just remind yourself of a simpler time. Just like do something that'll cheer you up. I haven't read comics and graphic novels in years. There's a store out here called Kaboom Test Labs. When it closed, like a part of me died because I loved that fucking place. And I stopped reading comics and graphic novels. I stopped playing a lot of the games I played. Like I said, I'm a huge nerd. I play Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! I play that Dragon Ball Super game. Like all these games, Hero Clicks. I stopped playing a lot of it because just that store closed and it just broke my heart. And I started thinking I was too old. And then I realized, no, I'm not, you know. Don't let the things that you enjoy, don't let it die out. That's like a big thing I'm going to tell you guys. Don't let it die out. If you enjoy reading graphic novels and comics, do it. If you like playing video games as much as I do, I've been playing Animal Crossing every day since it has come out. Dobby, please be quiet. And, you know, I enjoy life now. Like, I'm trying my hardest. Even when things get really bad, I'm trying to enjoy shit and not let this get to me. Because I see what it's doing to other people out there. I see how bad other people are getting. I see how other people are reacting. And it's sad. It really is. This world was not ready for something like this. And you figure it would be. This shit like this has happened throughout the years. But every time something happens, state of panic always happens. Now this time is a little bit more justified. Definitely. Is this going to last forever? Definitely not. That's what people got to realize. If you follow the rules, just like in scary movies, if you follow the rules, you're going to survive. And I'm hoping that whoever watches this video, I'm hoping it reaches you guys, and I'm hoping that you understand, okay? And I hope you pass this message on. I'm not talking about the likes right now. I'm not talking about the shares right now. I'm not talking about the horror fiend right now. This is me. This is Jeff talking to you guys, okay? Pass along this message. Let people know. What I'm saying right now, like, pass that on. Pay this shit forward. In Animal Crossing, okay, this has been like a getaway for a lot of people lately, including me. As stupid as that sounds, it has been a getaway for me. Like, because I've been playing with friends on there, hanging out at each other's islands. And, you know, I even have the horror fiend, like the whole setup right here, in my house on Animal Crossing. It's fucking hilarious. I got my prints and everything. I QR code it. And so, it's like, it's an extension of me in that game. Been playing with friends, and like with a lot of people who have been going through a lot of the shit going on lately, I have millions of dollars in that game, so I literally just been giving it to people, like trying to make people's days and like just trying to pay it forward, even in a fucking video game. You know, people underestimate the power of shit like that. They underestimate the power of like video games. They underestimate the power of just having something in common with somebody. And
well, I think one of the and not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but one of the things I think it is right now And this is something that we both definitely understand just because we've been there. But, you know, loneliness, or the feeling of loneliness is something that is really close knitted with depression. You know, a lot of people that have depression, they do end up isolating themselves because of however they feel. But loneliness and being alone are two different things. You know, I can be alone and be completely content, and I can, at the same time, be around a group of people and feel completely lonely.
Yep.
And that is, you know, one of the hardest things right now for a lot of people, excuse me, is that they feel lonely. You know, it's not just that they're being stuck at home, it's that they're lonely. So the people that play Animal Crossing and that can go and chat with that I've noticed online, you know, they feel less lonely because they have someone they can associate with and somebody that understands them and likes something they like. And that helps them not feel lonely.
Exactly, and that's why. So like, this is my first, and like, I know this is a horror, but again, like, another thing, you guys are going to learn a lot about me as this channel goes. I'm a huge nerd. Okay, I've never played Animal Crossing in my life ever. Okay, and I guess this game was 7 years in the making because the last Animal Crossing game was 7 years ago, and everybody was super fucking excited about it. With how hyped all my friends were about it, that's why I went and got it. Was because I was like, I got to check this out. I got to see what the hype's about. Ever since I've gotten this game, I have absolutely fucking loved it. And it's literally been a lot easier to deal with the shit going on right now because all the things that people would normally do in their daily life, like, you could actually do in this game. Like, there's chores to do. You could go fish. You could go garden. You could go visit the aquarium. You could go visit a museum. There's so much stuff. You could create whatever you want in this game. And you could have friends come over and, like, literally, I have like a barbecue pit made in that game to where, like, when all my friends come over, like, we literally all just chill in that area and we talk. And it's just really cool, you know, because it's like, it's a way for us to all connect still with all this shit going on while we're still doing the social distancing thing. That way this shit can go away. And it's super fucking cool, you know. And I normally don't talk a lot about video games on here, but if there's a video game, you know, that wasn't horror related that I would discuss, it's this game, because I think that if shit is really getting to people that bad, this might be a great game for you to get. Honestly, if you own a Switch, or, you know, if you want to get a Switch, if you've been debating it, now might be the time to do it, because this game is literally bringing a lot of people together, and it's making stuff a lot easier for everybody, and it's cool, you know. Just buy a video game. For all those assholes out there who are trying to say that video games cause violence and all that shit, again, this is a big fuck you, because that's not the case. I have played Mortal Kombat and I have ripped spines off, and I am the person who would least likely to hurt somebody unless I needed to. Unless, like, they were threatening my life or the life of my family or the life of my friends. You know, I wouldn't hurt a fly unless you give me a reason to. It's not the video games. There's people out there who are beyond saving. There are people out there who are not wired properly in the head. Now, on this channel, we talk about them. And we idolize horror movie characters. Horror movie characters. Okay?
Not real.
Horror movie characters do not cause serial killers. Unless we're talking like Scream and then the whole plot, because that's just fucking cool. And that's why I love Scream so much, because in that second Scream, they're literally basing it off of those characters from the first one, and the guy's just trying to replicate it. You know, and there are people out there who do that. There are. I'm not going to lie and say there isn't. There's definitely people out there who do that. But just because we idolize these characters, the characters you see behind me, the characters that we talk about, you know, and we will at some point, we're going to be talking about serial killer documentaries. We're going to be talking about the Helter Skelters and the Bundys and the Dahmers and the Gacy's and all that shit. And, you know, we don't idolize them. They are iconic. They are. Nobody can lie and say they aren't. You know who Ted Bundy is.
They're pretty notorious. You know who they are.
Yeah.
You hear the names. They've inspired movies and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But,
you know the
it
names.
doesn't mean that we are okay with, like, their choices or anything like that, because they took out real people. They killed real people. It doesn't mean any of that. Some of us like it or are interested in it for different aspects. For me, it was always the psychological aspect of it. Why? What drove them to do that? was there a pattern between them? I'm huge into sociology, so I always found it fascinating why people do the things they do. Is it a culture thing? Is it, the way they were raised? Are people just born inherently evil? These types of questions were always something that just fascinated me to where I would study things like that. It doesn't mean that we're violent and we're going to go out and start, trying to kill people.
Exactly. And it's the same way with me. I've always been fascinated by things like that, and I've always wanted to know. Given that I have mental disorders, it's just something that's always, been on my mind is like, I want to know their side of view. And I get so much shit for, like, it's kind of like it's like the whole Hitler thing, okay? And, like, again, I don't support Adolf Hitler whatsoever, okay? I am German and Irish. I don't support the man. I agree to an extent with what his goals were, because all he wanted to do was bring power back to Germany. But then it got warped, and then it became something much, much worse that I do not agree with, and I'm happy the motherfucker is dead. Okay? He wanted power back to Germany because Germany was a very weak, poor country. And that's how it started. But he let his hatred and he let the shit that was wrong in his head consume him. And once he got that power that he wanted, he corrupted and he fucking did horrible shit. So while I do agree with where he was trying to come from, where he went and what he did, I don't agree with. And some people always get pissed off because they're like, you agree with Hitler? And it's like, I agree with his original concept. That was it. I don't agree with him. I think he's a piece of shit. Like I said, I'm German and Irish, and I know a lot of people in my past who are all like, Hitler, blah, 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 and I'm like, you're fucking dumb. Like, you're stupid.
You got to keep in mind too, though, and I definitely understand where you're coming from on that. Like, I do. But he was and most high leaders are very good at manipulation.
Yep.
So even his original concept was set in place as a manipulation tactic to get him into that place of power.
Yeah, and it's pretty true.
But every leader, politician, any, if you really pay attention, like I said, I'm really into stuff like this. If you really pay attention to any leader, politician, even you want to go down to Charles Manson because he was a leader. They are very smart, very cunning, and they know how to manipulate masses.
It's true. And so, like, we don't agree with any of these things that people have done, okay? At all. I don't. I might joke about it sometimes, and we're definitely going to be talking about it and how much we're interested in certain shit. But we don't support any of that shit. So for those who are in the future, because I've already had a few people like whispering in my ear about it, like, I just want to let you guys know, okay? Yes, we will be talking about people like Charles Manson, like Ted Bundy, like Dahmer, like Gacy. We're going to be talking about Richard Ramirez, like all these people who are iconic. Everybody knows who they are, okay? Like, it's real life shit that has happened, and they are going to go down in history like they already have as being these people. And so we are going to definitely talk about it, but it doesn't we don't condone it, okay? And like, because a lot of people are like, well, you're about mental health, and yet like you mentioned Charles Manson the other night, and I was like, yeah, because think about it, mental health. What the fuck was wrong in that man's head? Okay, all these guys that did shit, they weren't perfect people. They had issues. And again, it's a way for us to reach out. Like, I want all of you guys to know that, like, no matter what it is, okay? I know there's probably some of you out there who've had that urge. You know what urge I'm talking about. You've had that urge. Fuck that old bitch at the grocery store. I stab her in the neck. I completely understand. Like, everybody gets those urges every now and then. And even if it's just like a thought. But like, it's always fascinated me, like, why that happens, and people with mental health always get looked at in a bad light. Like, oh man, this guy has all this shit wrong with him. Like, yeah, I have PTSD. Do you know why I had PTSD? Because somebody shot at me and I had to shoot back. That's not something that I'm just okay with. If I was okay with it, I'd be a psychopath. I'd be on this wall behind me. I wasn't okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's stuff like that it comes down to.
There's definitely a stigma. There's definitely a stigma behind when you do have a mental illness. You are looked at differently. You are looked at, especially if you're like us, where you like horror movies, or you like, violent video games, or you like things like that. You're always looked at like if you could be, you know, a serial killer or just a psychotic, or, you know, when we were younger, I'm pretty sure people looked at us like if we could be like the next school shooter or something, just
Right.
because we liked a certain style or listened to a certain type of music. There is this whole stigma behind it. The thing is half of the time we're just trying to get through the day.
Exactly.
You know, we're not sitting here trying to plan all these malicious things. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people that do. There are people that are very jacked up. But for the most part, if you have anxiety, you have depression, you know, you have these mental illnesses, it doesn't always necessarily mean that you are violent.
Exactly.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you are dangerous. Half of the time, most of the people that have these things, we're just more of a danger to ourselves than anybody else.
Exactly. I'm a prime example of that.
So, I mean, there's nothing, you know, there is a stigma to it, and I understand it, and there is an embarrassment behind it, you know, feeling like you're inconveniencing people, feeling like you're a burden on others, and so on and so forth. And I definitely understand all of those. But we don't want people to feel that way. We don't want people to feel lonely. We don't want them to feel embarrassed. And that's why you go for people that can understand that. Some try, and that's great. And some people, they're lucky. They're very fortunate to have a really good supportive system. And you need a good support system when you have any issue, any illness. You need a really good support system, and not a lot of people have that. And that's what we're offering. You know, we don't want you to go that route. We don't want you to feel lonely. We don't want you to feel misunderstood. A lot of people that feel lonely is just because they don't have someone that understands them.
Yep.
The real them. They can't be them, their real self. How many times do you wake up and you feel like you have to not only try to force yourself out of bed, but you have to force a fake smile on your face too? Or if someone asks you, how are you doing? And you have to be like, oh, I'm good. And that's it. And you just leave it at that. It's just a random statement.
Exactly.
So when you're inside, you don't feel good. You don't feel okay, you know? And why is that not okay? Why can't you express to whoever you need to, no, I'm kind of not doing okay. I'm pretty stressed out right now, or I'm pretty scared right now, or whatever other, you know, quote-unquote negative feelings that you're feeling.
Exactly. And that's what this channel is about, guys. And that's why, like I said, I told y'all it was going to take a very serious turn. And that's what it is. Like, this channel, I can't stress it enough, okay? We, just like Bethany said, we do not want anybody to feel that way. We don't want anybody to feel like, you know, you're not allowed to express yourself, especially when you have mental illnesses, okay? Like I said,
it is okay to not be okay. It is okay to not feel okay.
Exactly.
And it's okay if you don't feel like getting out of bed some days.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly.
I'm not saying stay there, but it is okay to not be okay. And there shouldn't be a stigma behind it, and people shouldn't be feeling alone and feel like they're a burden, and, you know, but I definitely understand that, because I have felt that. And I have felt that loneliness as well, but that's why we leave the email open for you guys. You can message us, we can talk to you, you know, and you'll have that. We'll be your support system. We'll try to understand you the best we can. You know, we've been through some stuff. We'll try to understand you and your position the best we can. We have the Facebook open now. It's a little easy to message through Facebook. You know, you can utilize that and get a hold of us. We want to be your support system because nobody should feel that way. And I know, because it's said and stated over and over and over again, that a support system makes all the difference.
It does.
For people that can heal better with their mental illness, or even just being a little bit okay with it. It's all on who you have around you and who you can have that can support you. And unfortunately, there are a lot that don't. There are a lot that do feel like they're a burden. Sometimes people do make you feel like you're a burden. Sometimes it happens. It's unfortunate, but if they can't understand, they're going to, whether they mean to or not, make you feel that way. We're not going to make you feel that way.
Exactly.
So you need that support system. It helps tremendously. One of the things I've offered with all of this going on, because I do have anxiety, and with everything that's going on, my anxiety has definitely been heightened. So I don't want other people to feel that way. I don't want them to feel like they're crazy. I don't want them to feel like they're being ridiculous. I don't want people to feel invalidated. You know, these fears are real, and what they're feeling is real. And sometimes I've had noticed that people, I can see their anxieties, even though other may not snap that that's what they have, but I recognized it. And they were being completely invalidated, like, oh, it's not a big deal, and they're just hyping it up, and so on. I'm like, well, you know what? It probably feels like a big deal to that person, though.
Exactly.
And so I offered, hey, if anybody needs to talk, if you want to vent, if you want to just sound however you want to sound, you can reach out to me. I'll listen to you. I'll listen to all your worries. I'll just let you just view it out, vent it, do whatever you need to do. And I actually did have a couple of people contact me, and I'm hoping that it helps them feel better, because sometimes you just want a little bit of validation.
Exactly. And same goes to me, guys. Obviously, you already know. As the saying goes, my door is always open, and that the virtual and in real life too. You guys could easily message me on the email. If you guys could also get a hold of me on Facebook, for those who know. Same thing, a few have already reached out to me just talking about, even if it's just like little shit, nothing's little in my opinion. Like, everything matters, everything is valid. And, I do the best I can. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist.
Me neither.
But, I am there to listen. I am there just to understand. Like, I always get mad when people say, oh, I understand, when they actually have no fucking clue. And so when you actually have somebody who does understand, you have somebody who actually does, have a fucking clue, it's always nice. And so, yeah, man, my doors are always open for all you guys. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a man, woman, child, couple. If you guys are having relationship issues, I'll give the best possible advice that I can. I might not be the greatest at it, but I'll try to help. But just anything,
I'm down for giving relationship advice if you want, but again, I am not a couples therapist. But I have been married for quite a bit, and yeah, so I've been there. I know how sometimes marriage could be a pain in the ass. Yeah. So you want to come vent to me about that? I'll vent to you as well.
Exactly. There's just we're opening the doors for all you guys, and we're just letting you guys know, like, we do care about you. This channel, I've said it, I don't even know how many times, this channel is very much about you guys. That it is the same as it is with horror and everything else. Like, it's just as much you. And there's other channels out there that do this too, and I will mention them right now. So the first one is, his name's Woods Hawker. He does beat 'em ups, and he actually has another channel that's just pretty much his name. And he's a very big mental health advocate. He actually, yesterday, I believe, or no, I think it was today, he is doing a stream, and the benefits that we're going to go through that stream, we're actually going to go towards COVID-19. He was going to send them out to like hospitals and all that stuff. And he's a great guy. I've been watching him for about a year or so, and he's really big. He has depression and anxiety as well. And he's a really good guy. Again, the channel is beat 'em ups, like the video game type beat 'em ups. And definitely check it out if you haven't. Show the dude support. Show him some love. He was there for me during a pretty bad time, and I was able to message him, and we talked. And awesome guy. And at some point, you'll actually see me wearing one of his shirts. I try to support the channels that support me. And then the other channel is, and you guys have heard me mention them before, Mike and Jay over at We Watched the Movie. This is a big group. They've been doing this shit for about, like, I think 5-6 years. I think it's been maybe a little longer. They've been doing it for a while, and they have over 100,000 subscribers, and they are very, 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 very big on mental health as well. Like, they do horror movies, they do action movies, they do all kinds of shit. It's a great channel. Definitely check them out. And but not only that, but they are very big when it comes to mental health. And they understand the darkness of it, because they've been there too. Like, all of us have been there, man. You got all of us, like a little community that have been there, and we see this darkness, and we deal with this darkness every day. And so you guys got a lot of different places you can go for this, and it's really cool, just thinking about it. And Mike and Jay, especially Mike, I love you both. I really fucking do, man. You guys, again, you were there for me too. Mike, you were there for me. I still have that email saved, man. Well, I have all the emails saved. But that one particularly, the very first one, I read it at least once a week, because there's times where I'm just like, I'm done. And then I read that and I'm like, oh no, I'm not. there's no way in hell I'm done, you know. And it's not YouTube related. It's like I'm not done with this. Like this, I will never be done with. I'm gonna do this as long as I can because I fucking love this. It's just like my job. I get tired of it, man. I've seen people die. I've saved people's lives, and it gets to me. I live by a certain code of honor. I think I mentioned it a while ago. I'm Norse paganism. I follow a very different religion. I'm not knocking. I'm not saying my religion's right, your religion's wrong, or any shit like that. It doesn't come down to that. To me, it's everybody has the same view, just a different name for whatever it is. And for me, I'm a follower of Norse paganism, and I try to live a life of honor. I try to live a life to where when I die, I'm hoping the Valkyries will carry me through Valhalla, and I could feast with the gods and all that. And I'm really hopeful of that, and that's why I go out and I do what I do. I have saved homeless people's lives when most people would just let them die. I tried saving 2 of them. Both of them passed away on me, and it broke my fucking heart. And, you know, I do what I can for the people, and I always have. Like, even in my actual job, it's like I do what I can for all you guys. So, yeah, like, this is how serious it is to me. Like, this is very important to me. This channel is very important to me. You guys are very important to me. Girls, all you guys. Like, when I say guys, I don't mean guys literally, okay? Don't get offended. I mean, like, literally guys, girls, everything in between. I don't care if you're a reptile, okay? You're a guy. Like, guy, it's like the slang version of guy, not like literally a guy. But, all you guys and goyles out there, you know, I care about all of you. I do. That's why I get up and I do this every Saturday. That's why I go out there and I put my health on the line. I put my life on the line. I've had guns pulled out on me. I've had somebody try jumping me. I've had a fight, you know. And so I just want you guys to know, okay? If I could get through all this shit, you guys can get through all this shit. Okay? Straight up. Every fucking one of you watching right now, every one of you that are going to be watching in the future, 10 years from now when you see this video, I want you to remember this. I want you to remember this fucking day. I want you to remember what I say. When I say you're going to get through this. Because you're going to be like, motherfucker, he was right. You're going to get through it. Every one of us are going to get through it. Okay? Whatever faith you believe in, keep that faith. Okay? I don't think praying helps, but just hold on to your faith. Go out and enjoy the sun. Don't be scared. Listen to what they say. Don't have the crazy gatherings and like do shit you're not supposed to do. But you can sit outside and enjoy the fucking sun. I go out there and I meditate. Okay? Just enjoy life as much as you can during these times, because if not, it's just going to get worse. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. This is the first time in a while where we actually hit an hour or over, so I apologize, but it's like sorry not sorry, because this is an important video. To me, all of them are, but especially this one, so sorry not sorry. You know, we've been doing good with under an hour. This is the first time it actually went over, and luckily I don't got to work until like midnight tonight, so I'd keep this going if I wanted to. If there wasn't a barbecue waiting for me out there, I'd keep it going. I talk about random shit. Yeah, random shit.
But you do have a barbecue you need to get to.
Exactly, and I'm pretty sure this one's tired of being on the phone and wants to go spend time with her family. So, with that
We keep
said,
talking about hamburgers and barbecues and stuff. I'm hungry. I'm ready to go eat.
Hey, you can come over. You just got to keep 6 feet.
Right? 6 feet away. I don't even remember what we're having for dinner tonight, but I'm like, yeah, whatever it is, I'm ready.
Skettios.
Hamburgers and barbecues.
Right? Okay, with that said, guys, boys and girls, children of all ages, again, please just be good to each other. Don't stress out. Try to stay strong, okay? Try to stay strong. For the Horror Fiend, I am the Horror Fiend. My name is Jeff.
I'm Bethany.
Yep, that one down there. That's Bethany. We will see you guys next week. Same Fiend time. Same Fiend channel. Whoever did the Batman in the 60s, please don't sue me for that. Love you. Later.